Welcome back. So we're going to be reacting to an interview between Dana Bash and Donald Trump's running mate, JD Vance. And we're going to be taking a look at how she handles this interview and some of the stuff that has gone on. I saw this in my feed and I figured, why not just do a reaction to this interview? So let's jump in.
We are 51 days from the election, and together with their running mates, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are focusing on the states that will decide the next president, with the race apparently deadlocked after what could be the only Harris-Trump debate. But Donald Trump is also doubling down on a baseless claim that he made at the debate, that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, are eating people's pets.
So it's amazing how they call these reports baseless. There's videos circulating on Twitter and on Instagram. And it's interesting how they call it baseless, and there's no reference to any of this evidence. There's some content that I saw today that basically had one of the city officials giving a report in one of their state houses about the state of migrants eating pets or animals that could serve as pets. So I'm going to be doing a reaction to that video soon. All right, so let's keep going.
Local officials and the state's Republican governor say there is absolutely no evidence of that claim, and they are warning it is actually hurting their city.
It'll be great for them to show the videos of these officials making these claims.
Springfield, Ohio is facing a fourth day of threats over the claims that have forced a college, hospitals, and schools to lock down. Meanwhile, Springfield police say they received 2 calls about Proud Boys marching through the city.
Where is the footage? Where's the evidence?
Here's how Donald Trump responded to the controversy over Haitians who, I want to note, are in the U.S. legally.
I don't know what happened with the bomb threats. I know that it's been taken over by illegal migrants, and that's a terrible thing that happened. Springfield was this beautiful town, and now they're going through hell.
So she highlights the fact that Donald Trump is talking about migrants who are legal, but he's highlighting that he's referring to illegal migrants.
MRP Easy is a powerful yet simple ERP software for manufacturers and distributors. It is an affordable.
Here with me now is Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance, who represents Ohio in the U.S. Senate. Thank you for being here, sir. So the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, Rob Rue, said, quote, all these federal politicians that have negatively spun our city, they need to know they're hurting our city, and it was their words that did it. Before Donald Trump talked about eating dogs and cats on a debate stage, it was you, Senator, who first elevated this baseless rumor. These are your constituents. So why are you putting them at risk by continuing to spread claims about Haitian immigrants, despite officials in your state saying that there's no evidence?
Now, before he responds, if you've been keeping track of mainstream media's emphasis on the fact that the words that are being spoken by certain people on the opposite side of the aisle are responsible for certain outcomes in the U.S., they seem to want to say that the words that are being spoken in the arena of giving people information on what's going on or exchanging thoughts is more dangerous than people actually going out there and perpetrating harm or attacking people or even, let's say, attempting to assassinate a president. They seem to elevate these things higher than all of the things you're seeing playing out on the streets.
and pleading for you to stop.
Well, Dana, first of all, what's putting the residents of Springfield at risk, which was a town completely ignored by the American media until Donald Trump and I started surfacing some of these concerns, is that they can't afford housing, they can't afford health care. The schools have been overwhelmed, the hospitals have been overwhelmed, and they're overwhelmed because Kamala Harris allowed 20,000 Haitian migrants to get dropped into a small Ohio town of about 40,000 people, and it's completely overwhelmed the services. Now, you ask,
Wow.
why have I talked about some of the things that I've been talking about? Let me just
That's
say
20,000. That's
my
half the
constituents have brought
population dumped
approximately a
within
dozen separate
that area.
concerns to me. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable, and a couple of them I talk about because my constituents are telling me firsthand that they're seeing these things. So I have two options, Dana. I can ignore them, which is what the American media has done for years to this community, or I can actually talk about what people are telling me. And of course, many of the things that the media says are completely baseless have since been confirmed. For
I see what he did
I
there.
was told, Dana, that by the American media, that it was baseless that migrants were capturing the geese from the local park pond and eating them. And yet there are 911 calls from well before this ever became a viral sensation of people complaining about that exact thing happening. So
Has anyone listening, have you heard the 911 calls? If you have a link to any of that, just shoot them over in the comment section, please.
attitude is listen to my constituents. Sometimes they're going to say things that people don't like, but they're saying things that people don't like because their town has been overwhelmed, and it's my job to try to fight for them and to protect them. Kamala Harris opened the border, and now these people are suffering. That's what I'm focused on, Dana.
Senator, I have to go through several things that you just said. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources reviewed 11 months of 911 calls. They only identified 2 instances of people alleging Haitians were taking geese out of parks. They found 0 evidence to substantiate those claims. Also, other evidence that you have talked about, even you've retweeted alleged evidence, are unsourced social media videos from a different city, apparently no connection to Haitians. And this is from a conservative activist who offered a $5,000 reward for such things. And then going just backly to the schools and the hospitals and so forth being overwhelmed.
So before we go on, very quickly, why does it feel that mainstream media is hostile? I want to use the word hostile, but that's the only word that comes to mind right now. Is hostile towards the actual citizens of these cities who are complaining about incidents that they clearly have witnessed. I don't think Americans have the imagination to actually tell you what's going on in third world countries. Some Americans still believe that third world countries are still covered by forest. Others believe that third world countries look like Wakanda in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm not sure that people in the middle of Ohio State would be able to concoct some of these stories, okay, simply because they are hostile to immigrants. Now, remember, a city of 40,000 people was suddenly saddled with 20,000 immigrants, and they call them illegal immigrants. That would overwhelm any city. Just imagine you're a family of 6 and you're forced to take in 3 more people, and the government is not supporting you. They're not saying, okay, these people are going to pay for their keep. What they're going to be doing is they are going to be a burden on the already strained resources of the family. You're going to be paying more in light bills, water. You're going to be buying more groceries, and everything is coming out of the pockets of that family. That's basically the picture of some of these cities' situations. So let me know in the comments if I'm capturing this correctly, because it feels like the media is discounting the reports from actual U.S. citizens and is protecting people who came into the country illegally. I am an immigrant. I am uh, I am empathetic to the plight of people who are desperate to leave countries where things are horrible and to go to countries where things are working well. However, immigrants like me did it the right way. We went through, like, I applied to move, to leave my country several times and I was turned down. Okay? We applied to go to the UK, turned down. Applied to, come to Canada, turned down the first time on a visitor visa, and then the third time we were accepted. Look, it's hard to do things the right way, but then when people do it the wrong way, and then on top of it, they are creating problems which affect legal immigrants, people who want to do it the right way. Everyone loses. The people who are trying to get in legally lose. The illegals lose. And then the citizens who are being attacked by their own government and their own media also lose. So that's a thought. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Am I being hostile? Am I being thoughtless or callous to the plight of these guys who are they just want a better life? True. But what's going on? I mean, it doesn't seem very fair to the citizens of the city. So just let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's keep going.
Overwhelmed. Nobody is disputing that the town of Springfield, Ohio, needs help. But you're not just a bystander. You're the senator from Ohio. So instead of saying things that are wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats, because of the cats and dogs thing, why not actually be constructive in helping to better integrate them into the community?
I'm sorry. How are there bomb threats because people are reporting the fact that cats and dogs are being eaten by illegal migrants? I don't get the story. Like, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I can't make the connection. Are the bomb threats coming from citizens who are saying we're going to bomb our own facilities in protest of our pets being eaten? Or are people who support the illegals saying we're going to bomb these facilities if you guys stop spreading these stories? Let me know in the comment section.
Because there are a lot of employers there who say that the Haitian workers are helping fill jobs that they need desperately filled.
Dana, first of all, let me just respond to a couple of things that you said, but I want to start with something you said, which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic propagandist than it is for an American journalist. There is nothing that I have said that has led to threats against these hospitals. These hospitals, the bomb threats and so forth, it's disgusting. The violence is disgusting. We condemn it. We condemn all violence.
Senator,
and
this
threats
happened
of violence.
after you and
But
President Trump were on the debate stage, said that cats and dogs were being eaten.
You asked a question, Dana, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it.
Okay, this is getting heated.
What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris. Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community when all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies. Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand.
Which is true.
Now, let me just fact check a couple of other things that you said, Dana, because it's important. You said that all of these migrants are in the country legally. They are in the country through what's called temporary protective status.
Right.
That is when Kamala Harris waved a magic amnesty wand, taking people and giving them legal status. That's
clarifying it. Yeah.
That is not to say that they're here legally. That is a terrible indictment of her amnesty policies that have further opened the border and further caused terrible migration into this country.
You might not agree with the policy, and obviously you don't, which is totally fair and legitimate. There are policy disagreements all the time. But the fact is, it is the law because President Biden and Vice President Harris are. But I don't want to frankly go down this conversation about.
She's
about
running
policy,
interference for Biden
you
and
made a point.
Harris.
You don't. I agree. You don't want to talk about policy.
No,
Dana,
what I
which is
want to
why
talk
you're
about.
talking about
What
other
I want to talk
distractions
about
instead of about the fact
Senator,
that
it was
Kamala Harris
your
She seems to be
distraction.
interrupting him a
You were
lot.
the one who started talking about
Granted
eating
amnesty
dogs
at a
and
mass
Oh my
cats.
goodness.
You were the one who
Dana,
brought this
my
up. The
constituents
president
were the
said
ones
it
who
to
talked about
60
eating
million
dog and
people.
cats, and I talked about it because you were ignoring this community. My constituents talked about
Have
it.
you
and
been
it is
to
my
Springfield?
responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media
Have you been to
ignores it.
Springfield?
Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've taken my
recently,
children
since
to
you've
get
heard
ice
this?
cream at Young's Jersey Dairy.
Have you heard recently since you've gotten these calls?
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No,
no,
I'm
I
talking
haven't been
about
in the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked
you've
to a lot
gotten
of
these
people in
calls from the
Springfield, Dana,
constituents.
and they're telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me
Really?
on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and
Exactly.
you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am, and I think that if
Ooh,
Kamala
she
Harris and
looks
Tim Walz
stressed.
were making unsubstantiated claims.
You notice that she's blinking a lot. And I heard that from people who have studied some elements of body language, when someone blinks a lot, they're really under a lot of stress. They're under a lot of pressure or stress. Is that true? Please send your thoughts in the comment section. Now, before we wrap this up, she interrupted him quite a lot, didn't let him get his thoughts out. He repeatedly said that his constituents reported these incidents, and it is his job to serve his constituents and not to tell his constituents that they don't know what they're talking about. As a representative of the people, they're supposed to come to you with their problems, and it's your job to represent them. That's what a representative does. The media isn't representing the people at this point, and they haven't been reporting on what people have clearly been talking about. In another video, maybe in a couple of videos down the line, I'm going to be reviewing some of these reports, and I'm going to be looking for footage coming from reputable incidents like the conversation that I said I ran into with a member of the State House discussing these issues months ago, as far back as March. So I'm going to be reacting to that because these are things that we need to look at. I'm not for either side. I'm just a casual bystander. I don't live in the US, but I'm just looking at this and I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? Let's wrap this up and then I'll give you my final thoughts and then we'll shut this down.
That had racist undertones about people eating dogs and cats.
Racist?
And they didn't answer the questions about that.
There's no racist undertone to that. It's a fact. In Nigeria, there's a certain part of the country where people eat dogs. All right, they eat dogs. You go to the market, you'll find them. You'll find people who sell dogs in the marketplace, and these dogs are in cages, tightly packed. They eat dogs. It's not a racist thing. It's a fact of life. There's a video that I saw last week of a woman of Haitian descent explaining that people eat these cats as a part of a ritual. It's a ritual. They believe that eating the cat would provide them with some form of protection from bad omens or evil spirits. They do these things. It's not a racial thing. Okay, I don't think it is honest to throw racism up in the air like it's this silver bullet that will ward off common sense. When a conversation is happening, it's not a good feeling when that happens, and it really does say a lot about the person who is bringing that up. Let's wrap this up. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
I would have similar interactions with them. As you know, I am very grateful that you come on the show, as I am for other Republicans. But this is something that you're hearing from constituents. I did a lot of reporting. I talked to people in Ohio over the weekend, and they're really worried about these claims. The policies, yes, I am agreeing with you that what I heard is that there is concern that these migrants, there's a lot of them, and the integration isn't being done fast enough and well enough.
All right, so that's the end of the video. What do you think? I don't like taking sides. I'm just going to call it as I see it. I don't live in Ohio. I don't live in the United States. I love the country, but I don't live there. And I like to see a righteous response to certain issues. If people are complaining about a thing, then you have to honestly go out there and get the evidence. She says she's talked to people who say they are concerned that these are racist allegations that are creating problems. Is it true? Because I do know that there are people who just want to protect a narrative, and in a bid to do that, they would lie, and that goes for both sides. Are the people who are reporting the eating of pets and cats and dogs lying, and geese in the park, are they lying in order to push a narrative? Are the people who are saying that those things aren't happening telling the truth, or are they lying? Leave a comment in the comment section. If you have videos that prove one or the other, let me have it in the comment section. I would love to see what's actually going on in Springfield, Ohio. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was a long video because the interview went on for over 9 minutes, and when you interrupt just to give your thoughts and to react, it creates more of a stretch for the content. But thanks for hanging out until the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and let me know what you thought about my reaction. And until next time, I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.